And now, fresh off a 30-year break from his life in over-the-air radio, here's the host of the most originally named 15 Years Too Late podcast, JaySapChats.
Yeah, and here we go. Jason Lucash from Rupt. How you doing?
We're just jumping into it. Good.
Yeah, this is the way it goes. We just jump. You know what? You've been on a lot of these podcasts, right?
I've done a very large amount of podcasts. Yeah.
Okay. So how many podcasts do you get on and you have 15 minutes of conversation and then the host asks you the exact same question and you're expected to give the exact same answer the way that you gave it when you had just an informal conversation?
The majority of podcasts.
That sucks.
That's
so we're not going to do it that way.
That's why I signed up to do yours, so I have to deal with the bullshit that everyone else does.
So, I learned that when I was doing radio very, early in my career. I was in the radio world.
Oh, cool.
The best conversations happened off the air.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that. Definitely.
And I'm like, this sucks. But that's why Stern was always, before he went a little wacko, that's why he was always so popular, because he had all the off-air conversations on the air and nobody else had the courage to do it because they didn't have the cover from their program directors. So they had to keep their jobs.
That's why I'm excited for this podcast. Let's see where this goes. I'm an open book with no filter whatsoever.
All right, good. All right. Well, here's where we're going to start. I'm a little different than everyone else. I'm not a, tell me how you succeeded type of guy. Your story's out there. There's a billion podcasts. If people want to see, how you got to where you're at today, you've done TED Talks, like TED Talks to colleges, etc. I'm really into how it all started. And when I say how it all started, where'd you grow up?
I grew up here in Danville, California, from East Bay. Not born and raised. I was born in Florida, but I grew up out here. I come from a family of entrepreneurs as well, too. But East Bay, close to Oakland and Berkeley is where I'm at.
Got it. And brothers and sisters?
Little sister, Stacy Lucash, 2 years my younger, worked in corporate marketing for Walmart and Sam's Club for the last 15 years.
Got it. You guys close?
Yeah, I saw her last night. We had pizza.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
We
are. She's my little sister, so I broke her elbow when I was 5 playing football, and I don't think she's lived down past that. But yeah, we're close. I mean, she lives.
You literally broke her elbow playing football?
Yeah. It was during I guess I was 7 and she was 5. It was during when the Giants. It was during the Super Bowl when the Giants were in the Super Bowl in 90 or 91 during halftime. We were playing football in the living room, and I broke her elbow.
So what happens? Your dad and mom, and you have a family party, and that happens, or was it just the close family that was there?
I think maybe my grandparents were over, but I remember doing it, and then I've never lived it down. And she talks about it all the time, and she had to this was in the 90s, and I grew up in South Florida. I moved here when I was 8. After the elbow was broken, my parents moved. We had to leave Florida. I don't know, but you didn't really have a sling, and she had summer camp. She had to wear her elbow in her shirt or her arm in her shirt. I don't really know, but she's never let me live it down.
But does dad take you to the emergency room, or does mom take you, or mom and dad?
I stayed home to watch the second half of the football game. So someone took my sister. I think my mom must have taken my sister. Me and my dad sat there and watched the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm totally going to send her this podcast.
That's a crazy event to happen.
Yeah. But
that's fun. I mean, look at you.
It didn't change the trajectory of my childhood.
No, but it's it's funny, right? Because you see you see a lot of successful people, and it's hard to picture them being just regular humans, right? But your sister doesn't view you as this superstar entrepreneur. Your sister's she views you as her big brother.
My elbow.
The guy who broke, right? And it still haunts you all these years.
Yeah, I keep it casual. I mean, even people that know me from the business world too, I don't know. look, I was very successful and made a good amount of money and didn't have to work ever again in my life, but I chose to because I was very effing boring being retired. Can we drop F-bombs on this podcast or no?
You can do whatever you want.
All right, I didn't, but I will next time. But I'm like the least. I don't know. We're at this barbecue on 4th of July, and my friends were like, "You're rich." I'm like, "Shut up, bro!" Like I wear free T-shirts. I am sitting here lighting off fireworks with you right now. You're the EVP of Tabasco, and you made a ton of money too. Like I'm a normal person, like everyone else, wearing free T-shirts.
So what's your childhood like from an elementary school standpoint? Like are you like a cool kid? Are you athletic? Are you where do you fit in like early years?
Yeah, I played a ton of sports. I played travel soccer and basketball, and track was my jam for sure. In high school, I got recruited to a bunch of colleges for track. So I was like athletic. My dad did track and field and cross country in college too. And I I was a hustler. I went to Sycamore Valley Elementary School here in Danville, California, and I had my first business in like 3rd grade, and it was a candy stand called Comics and Candy, and make $1,000 I don't know if they have semesters in elementary school, a candy selling season, and yeah, I hustled. High school, I worked, and I don't know, we're jumping ahead, but in elementary school, I was always, even in high school too. I was in charge of my high school reunion a couple of years ago. Like, I
Yeah.
was like the guy that like I was friends with everyone, and
So like all groups, right? Like the
yeah,
smokers and the weed guys, and
yeah,
then
for sure,
friends with the athletes, and like
yeah.
you were the guy who kind of transcended the groups.
Yeah, I was like the MC of the talent show. I was, and I think I was like class president a couple times. Like, I was the guy that like I tried to bring everyone together. Everyone's the same. If you're into smoking weed, you're into smoking weed. If you're into skating, you're into skating. If you're into like off-roading your Tacoma, you're into off-roading. But like everyone comes together for the common good.
So you said your dad was an entrepreneur, so you grew up in an
My mom was
entrepreneur.
my mom was an entrepreneur. My dad worked corporate for Cisco Systems for like
Oh,
25
really? So
years.
your mom was the hustler in
My mom was an
of the two.
entrepreneur. My grandfather, on my mom's side, entrepreneur. My great grandfather on my dad's side, entrepreneur. I'm 4th generation born here in the U.S., but my family has always been entrepreneurs.
Successful exited type businesses or always on the grind type businesses? Like what was your mom
I don't
like
think that
what was your early years like? What do you first remember about your mom and her entrepreneurialism?
my mom had like a clothing company where they did like clothing fundraisers for schools.
Mhm.
And then my mom was in real estate. My mom still works. She's like a high-end luxury travel agent as well too. So she's always kind of like worked for herself. And my grandfather and my grandma, my mom's parents, had a publishing company in Florida where they published different publications, newsletters, magazines, and stuff. So their own publishing company. And then my great grandfather, when he came to the U.S. from Russia, had a sewing machine repair business in New York City as well too. So I don't think none of them exited businesses, but they hustled. If they couldn't make their own job, or if they couldn't find a job, they made their own jobs.
Yeah, I mean that's you. So okay, so you're watching your mom do that, and your dad holds a corporate job,
Yeah.
but like a very traditional family structure. Like mom had dinner on the table every night, or dad
Yeah,
cooked, or what was the
my dad definitely.
dynamic at home?
My dad does not cook. My dad would barbecue sometimes, but
Okay.
yeah, my dad did work from home before work from home was a jam, and so Cisco Systems, he's a program manager for Eastern European distributors and European distributors. But when we first moved out here, he commuted from Danville to San Jose, which in the Bay Area, that's very far.
Mhm.
And then work from home became a thing in like the 90s, and my dad worked from home from like the early 90s until he retired, which was, I mean, he was with Cisco for like 25, 30 years or however. But yeah, my mom would, take care of us, pick us up from school and cook dinner. And yeah, we'd go on like just normal kind of upper middle class childhood in the East Bay. But I'd play
Now
with my friends every day. Like, yeah, I was always like doing stuff.
were you a skater dude or no?
Yeah, I would skateboard a little bit, but like I was like sports. Like we would play. I grew up on a court with like my best friend, business partner, first business, all boys in the 90s. So we would build forts. We'd play tackle football. We'd play baseball, wiffle ball, basketball. We'd go on bikes. We'd go teepee the shit out of people's houses. We'd steal beer and drink beer as we got older. Like typical, like.
Yeah, this was like when you like left the house in the morning on the weekends and came home for dinner, right? And like,
yeah, like my parents wouldn't see me all day.
Have lunch.
Yeah,
right. Sometimes you had lunch at your friends' houses and their moms made lunch, or sometimes it was your mom's house. That type of.
We rarely came to my house. It was mostly my friend, like my best friend Jake's and his brother Matt's house, who lived like 4 houses down from us at the end of the cul-de-sac. But we were always at their house. Like there was just tons of boys there playing, GoldenEye and Sega and everything, and it was the best. Well, actually, one of the best parts. I was telling the story to someone the other day, and sorry for like going down a tangent. And I'm a big time gambler, and my gambling addiction started at the Murray household. Jake's dad. We played tons of poker and cards. We played, you name it, like mostly a ton of Hold'em in high school, and we kept a black book of like everyone's debts. And this was, the same crew. We'd go over there all the time in high school, and we'd play all summer, and we would always square up right before the school year started. We'd run a recurring year, and like pretty good poker player, love gambling. But I remember like there was like a crew of like 10 or 12 guys that would come through, and we'd have to square up. But like I remember one guy, Adam DeBro, I'm still friends with him. His debt was like close to $1,000, like freshman year of high school, and then like
real money.
But like Mike Murray, Jake and Matt's dad, like was like the organizer of all this, and he'd come and like he'd be the bank, but he would also play and like take the kids' money as well too. But it was like super fun, like gambling at the Murray household for multiple years throughout high school.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So all right, so you said you were a track athlete. What events?
High jump, long jump, triple jump.
Okay.
Jumping. I was anti-running. I still am kind of anti-running.
So you've got what do they call it? You got hops? Is that what they say?
Hops. Yeah, I could dunk in high school. Yeah, and I'm not tall. I'm 5'11".
And you could dunk a basketball?
Yeah, I wore these like they're like moon shoes where there's like a platform on the front. I don't know if you remember these. They would stretch out like your muscles and your calf and your Achilles and stuff. And I would run bleachers with them. I'd do parachute runs. And I became a pretty good. I could high jump 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", and for my area, being a white guy in the East Bay, like I was all league a couple of years. I got recruited like small schools, like D3 schools, but I'd crush it in my league, and then we would go to like Northern California where they'd bring in like other people from other areas. And like this opening at the Meet of Champions, the opening height was like always like 6 foot. And then like you get these legit jumpers from Oakland that would come in and go like 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". So I never advanced like out of Northern California, but
yeah. But if you had but in that local area, I mean, it was ridiculous.
I would always do really well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's I listen, I get it. So, all right. In high school, believe me, like, listen, I was a hockey player growing up.
Oh, cool.
Outside of Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
And then I realized, like, out in the Philly area, one kid goes to the NHL.
Yeah.
So, maybe you're not going to be that kid.
Right. And like, for me, I was like, I got recruited like Lewis and Clark, Puget Sound, Occidental, like all these schools on the West Coast. Yeah. And I was like, I could do this and I'm going to just be like the guy, or I could like go to college and do college.
Yeah, right. Which you seem like you wanted, the type of personality to like to do college. So, all right. So you have athletics, which can often get in the way of work. What do you do? At what age do you start working? Like, what was your first job? Like, what do you remember first?
Umpiring baseball with Jake and Matt Murray. We would umpire Little League, and I did that for a while. And then I did soccer too, and basketball.
I refereed hockey for 20 years.
Oh, did you?
I did.
I did it for 2, and then parents started yelling at me. I'm like, this is stupid. And then I worked for...
That's hard.
Yeah, especially
it's hard. By the way, calling balls and strikes. Like when you watch baseball games now, and you'll see a guy misses a 98-mile-an-hour fastball this far off the plate, and you're with your buddies, and they're like, how the hell could he not call that a strike? And you've been behind I've called baseball games. You're behind the plate. I mean, especially that low pitch that's coming in, it's hard.
No doubt. And like now I coach softball for my daughters, and like there's declining enrollment. No one wants to be an umpire anymore because of the pressure, and mostly the parents, right? Which is ridiculous. But so I did that, and then I worked for the town of Danville, where I ran I was a camp counselor and like did stuff in like the athletics kind of for the town. And then I worked at Crow Canyon Country Club, which was the best. I was a cart boy, and then I got all my friends hired, and I did that from I did that sophomore, junior, and senior of high school. It was like real life Caddyshack, with tons of very inappropriate destruction that would happen. But it was like the best job. And I played golf every day, like the senior year of high school. I'd go out and play 9 or 18 every day.
Yeah, so you did play. So are you a golfer now?
No, I stopped playing golf.
You
no,
did?
the only activities I do now are I coach a ton of youth sports, and then I road bike a lot. I bike like 25 to 30 miles almost every other day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's cool. It's my exercise.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay. In high school, so those are your jobs. Like are you in your head, like, I'm going to be successful, or I see a path for me? Like, have you always had that and carried that confidence? Like you knew business, right? Like you knew. See, I always tell the story on the show. I never knew business existed. My dad was a teacher. My mom was a bookkeeper. Owning a business is what other people did. I just never was exposed to it when I was young. But did you know?
I remember in high school, so like my favorite movie was like Jerry Maguire, and I wanted to be a sports agent. And I worked in sports. I interned for the A's during Moneyball. Like I did my sports thing. But I was in this class. I remember the teacher, Jackie Bowman, and it was economics in senior of high school. And I also took like business classes from like community college as like a junior in high school as well too. I liked business and money and hustling. But in my economics class, it was like day trading, and we created our own. Everyone created their own like Yahoo Finance stock portfolio, and it was like fake money or whatever. It was just like competition to see who could make the most money in 30 days or 60 days. And I loved gambling. I loved like day trading, and then I actually ended up putting in some of my own money that I saved from like umpiring and country club, and like I did it, and like I won in my class. I was like the highest growth portfolio in like a 30-day period, and I also like did it with my own money. And then in college, I'm like, I wanted to start day trading a little bit. So I did some day trading. And then I played like poker tournaments as well too. And then I started a business in college, like a bartending and party serving company that became successful. So I business, and I wanted to be either a day trader or a sports agent, like going from high school to college.
So then you go to college, and then tell me about your freshman year. Do you meet your best friends? Is it an easy freshman year? Is it like, this sucks? Like, I'm scared? Like, what is it? Like, what's your freshman year like?
So I got recruited to UC San Diego out of high school for track, and that's where I wanted to go. And my senior year of high school, I partied a little. My grades slipped big time, and they revoked my acceptance. So I had to pick from.
Did your parents crash down on you there, or were they
Not
like,
really.
you learned your lesson?
And also, like, I didn't want to do track too. I decided, like, after my senior year, I was just kind of burnt out on track. But my parents were cool. So I got into like University of Oregon, San Diego State, Arizona State. I wanted to go to UC Davis too, here in Northern California.
So hold on a second. You like to gamble? I'm confused. I went to UNLV.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I went to UNLV.
You and Guy Fieri, those are the only two people I can name that went to UNLV.
Guy and I were there at the same time.
Nice.
So he did not have that hairstyle, and I did not have mine, ironically enough. Thankfully. How come why wasn't Vegas on the list? I mean, it just seems so natural. California kid likes to gamble. I knew a million of you guys.
Never applied. I wanted to go to Montana State. So Montana State always sent like this awesome brochures. It was like someone I was a big skier, grew up going to Tahoe like every weekend with my dad.
Montana State in Great Falls.
And Bozeman. Big sky.
Bozeman?
Yeah. And there's always like pictures on the cover.
Montana's in Missoula.
Yeah. There's always like pictures of like someone getting like crazy air on skis or like powder everywhere. I'm like, and my parents are like, there's no way you're going to go to school because all you're going to do is ski all day. So I was like, all right. So I went to Arizona State. So I applied to Davis. I got denied. Actually, I appealed my decision to Davis and I still got denied. A bunch of my buddies from the country club went to Davis. So I was like, I'm going to go to Arizona State. So I went to Arizona State freshman year, and it was a lot.
Oh, God, it's literally the most distracting place. We used to go down for the Eagles Cardinals game when they had the old stadium, and there was a Chili's right on the corner there. I mean, the waitresses, the girls, like Arizona State is mind-numbing with the beauty that is in that school.
I will never let my girls go to Arizona State, without a doubt, or anywhere in Arizona. Because U of A is the same. So I went down there, and I didn't love it. I left after my first year. I got a 4.0. I was a business major, or a pre-business or whatever it was. And then
was it like the 4.0 was a function of just liking the class material that you were taking and actually being interested in the subjects?
No, I hate school. I've always hated school. I've always hated I have a photographic memory. I'm the person that would study the night before the test and do the test. I learned more always in college outside the classroom through internships and like other jobs than in the classroom. I'm anti-school. And so anyways, I got 4.0 and I applied to Davis as a transfer and I got in as a sophomore transfer. So I ended up transferring after my freshman year back to California to go to Davis.
Okay. So then you go to Davis and you show up there. You don't carry any friends with you at Arizona State, or you do?
People that left Arizona State with me, or
no? I'm saying
I lived with one of my buddies from high school. We were roommates. I had friends. I still went down to visit, but no. Most of my friends, 30 people from my high school, went to Davis. I lived with my buddies sophomore year and junior year. I wanted to go to Davis. I just
you're a little bit of you're a California homebody. It sounds like.
Yeah, Davis is cool. I met my wife at Davis. Even though we didn't date, we were just friends. But Davis was awesome. But the problem with California schools is I wanted to do business. There's no business at any University of California school. So
there's not what they're liberal arts educations.
No,
there's
no business, and you cannot major in business at any University of California. UCLA, UC San Diego, UC Santa Barbara. None of them have business.
Really? What do they have?
Economics. So Davis is the largest ag school in the country. So I was in managerial economics, which is ag econ. So I had to take farm labor management, crop forecasting, shit I obviously don't use now, crop forecasting. But it was it was cool. I took beer making. I learned how to train a parrot for a quarter. Ice cream making was a class. Because it's an ag school, you get to take all these random rad-ass tractor driving. That was the most popular class on campus.
Tractor driving was?
Tractor driving, yeah.
So you've driven a tractor?
I have not. I couldn't get into it. You can only get in as your final quarter as a senior. I graduated early because I wanted to work. But yeah, I missed out on it. All my friends took it.
Let's go back.
My wife took horseback riding. That was a class. Yeah.
If I don't go back to this, I'm not going to ever be able to sleep again as long as I live. You were formally trained in college on how to talk with a parrot or how to make a parrot talk?
AMS 42 was the class. It was called companion animalship, and you had to pick an animal to train or learn about. And I picked
animal?
No, the choices were service dogs.
Okay.
I think there was some sort of rodent. I picked the parrot, and you learn it's all finger movements. So if you want the parrot to bob its head, you do this. If you want to walk, you move your fingers walk, and the parrot knows to watch how you move your hand. I obviously don't use this now, but it was a sweet companion animalship. It was my science class that I took, but my project was to train a parrot.
No desire in your adult life to own a parrot?
Zero whatsoever. I don't even want a puppy right now, even though we're going to get a puppy in a month here.
Yeah. Well, my guess is you didn't have much of a choice in that.
I got outnumbered.
You're talking to the guy who's got two beagles, man. They are.
I had pets and dogs.
Insane. What? Growing up, you had pets and dogs?
Yeah, golden retrievers, and
golden retrievers are good dogs. They're not beagles.
Well, our goal is to get a golden probably as a puppy heron when we get back from vacation in 2 weeks.
All right. Finger movements to train it?
Probably treats and then scraps from my kids would be my guess.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be. All right, cool. So you graduate college early because you want to make money.
Yeah.
How do you get a job? Everybody wants to be in their hobby. Everybody wants to be in sports. Everybody wants to go down that route. You still want to be an agent at this point?
Yeah.
At some level, you want to be in sports.
Yeah.
How does the Oakland A's come about?
And so my sophomore
That's your
year,
first job, right?
my first internship. Yeah. Sophomore year
Okay.
of college, I interned for the UC Davis men's basketball team, and I did recruiting, kind of bullshit work. And then I interned for the Sacramento River Cats, which was the A's AAA team, my sophomore year. And school, I'd drive up to Sacramento, work games, do promotions and marketing.
Mhm.
And then going into junior year, I was like, yo, I got to make the jump. I got to go to the big leagues. So I had a referral from the River Cats, reach out to the A's here in Oakland. And I also didn't want to live in Sacramento or Davis during the summertime because it's terrible. And I got hired to do special events and marketing for the A's my junior year, which was the height of Moneyball, which was awesome. So during the 20-game win streak and everything you see in the movie, that was 2003.
Is that like Jose Canseco, McGuire, Dave Stewart?
That's Bash Brothers. That's like 90s.
Yeah,
A's.
that's yeah. Well, I'm old,
2000s
so.
was like Scott Hatterberg, Miguel Tejada, Barry Zito,
Okay.
Tim Hudson, like
Got it.
Moneyball, Billy Bean, and
Yeah, Billy Bean.
Yep, did that
I'm so
junior
old.
year, and then no, you're not. Did that junior year, and then senior year again. Going into senior year, and then going to senior year summer, I also got a job on the Mountain Dew Action Sports Tour, which was like the X Games. And
that had to be early, but that had to be early X Games, early Mountain Dew Action Tour,
this was
right?
like 2005. So I did that. I was in charge of a brand out of Pennsylvania called Peanut Chews. It's like a chocolate candy.
Goldenbergs. They were my grandmother's absolute 100% favorite. They came in a little black, black with black and red, like branding.
They switched it to like blue and red.
Peanut.
There was two different versions of it.
Yeah, so the little bite-sized peanut chews.
Yeah.
They were my grandmother loved them.
Yeah, so I became like the brand manager on the Mountain Dew Action Sports Tour for on-site activation for this like peanut juice thing, and then I interned for the A's also too. And then going into senior year, I applied. I had enough credits to graduate early, so I applied for jobs and I got hired by Major League Soccer. So that was I left college early to work for MLS.
Graduated and then move across the country to New York City.
No, there was a satellite office out here in San Francisco.
Okay.
So I worked out of San Francisco, and then I ran grassroots and event marketing. So I traveled a ton. So I ran like a tour called Futbolito, which was 4-on-4 soccer tournaments before MLS games. I did that, and that's where I met my partner Mike here at Rupt and at Origaudio and at Jansport and at MLS. We've worked together since Mike was my intern at MLS, and then now we've worked together for 20 years.
You were only at MLS for, less than a year, right?
Yeah, 1 year. I got offered a job in New York to move to New York and work in the corporate office, which I did not want to do. So then I applied and I got hired by Jansport, which is part of VF Corporation out here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, why Jansport? Like, what was the attraction to them?
Knew the brand, had Jansport backpacks growing up. So the job was a new job. It was for being in charge of like promotional marketing, collegiate and event marketing. And I pitched them in my interview for what I would do. The job was to make Jansport cool on college campuses. Jansport was known as an elementary school brand, so I pitched them.
Jansport was not cool. Jansport was like the backpack that your mom and dad bought you
for sure
to go to elementary school in.
Yeah, so I pitched them this whole like idea of like running a college football tailgate tour because I did that at MLS. And then
Jansport was trapper keepers holders. Like that's what that's how Jansport was known.
So I pitched my boss and the VP of
marketing. So let's go back to that. Hold on. I want to stop for 1 second here and I want to explore this, right? Because I interview, and I'm sure you interview a ton of people, right?
Yes.
And it is depressing to me when I interview somebody and you sit across the table it's like I've LinkedIn posted about this so many times. I'll sit and I'll say to somebody like, what attracted you to Inked? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm looking for a job. And I want to come through the screen and just grab them and shake them and be like, what is wrong with you, you dumbass? Don't you know I came here to hire you? Yeah. Like, I want you to be great. I need you to be special. I don't want to interview anyone else. interviewing candidates sucks.
Yes, I completely agree.
You're giving me that you went in there on an interview, first interview, and pitched them.
Wore a suit. I wore a suit too.
I want that. I can't see, but I'm just going to imagine it happened. Give me sort of the preparation of that and like how you thought about attacking it. Because this is probably how it's done.
So yes, Jansport had this whole like collegiate apparel division. I think it was like actually like maybe close to $100 million in revenue, where it was like Gators, Sun Devils, Aggies, but Jansport, unlike Nike or Under Armour, didn't brand the outside of the sweatshirt. It was private label. They would put just a tag on the back, but they had this huge collegiate apparel division that no one really knew anything about. And then from a bag perspective, they made some cooler bags, but like everyone associated them with elementary school, right? So the job posting was collegiate events marketing, come with your ideas or whatever it was. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go off of what would love to do and what I did before, which was like mobile event marketing for MLS, right? So I was like, Jansport needs to be cool on college campuses. What I would do is I would start like a student ambassador program where I would hire like 2 reps at each campus. I also, in my senior, I was a campus rep for Microsoft, which was really cool. And I kind of saw how like Microsoft brought all the reps together and like equipped us and incentivized us to like grow the brand on campus. So I was like, I would start the student ambassador program. I'd hire like 2, reps on your top like revenue generating campuses for collegiate. I'd have them grow the brand, make it cool. I'd simultaneously piggyback and do like a college football tailgate tour where you set up shop outside of like college football games and sell like Gator Sun Devil merch pre-event, since you have the relationship with the bookstores on campus. So I pitched them this and then they hired me to do it.
When you say you pitched them, did you go in with like a physical presentation, like a PowerPoint, or was it all verbally done?
It was all verbally done, not a PowerPoint guy.
That's fine. But you had ideas.
Yeah, I outlined it all.
Specific concepts, and you were able to articulate it to them in a way that, I mean, I'm sure you could see them visually lighting up as you started to have this conversation.
I knew from the interview that I was going to get the job, and it was cool. So, I started that job. I moved out of my parents' house, moved to San Francisco with a couple buddies, and then I commuted out to Alameda or to San Leandro and worked at corporate headquarters, which was a really cool experience. It was a joint building between North Face and Jansport, part of VF, Vans, Nautica, Reef, biggest retail corporation in the world.
So I want to just stay here for a second because, we both hire people.
Yeah.
And we both have interviewed as well as interview now, right? It's very rare to see somebody who comes in prepared.
You're telling me. I mean, I hired 7 people here at Rupt in the last month, and I laid it up where I'm like, this is what I'm looking. I mean, our job descriptions are like fucking off the wall. And I'm like, this, especially for marketing, I was doing all of our marketing up until a month ago. So I hired 3 people in marketing to help. And I wrote really creative description, like, you better come with some fucking ideas. Otherwise, like, don't even talk. And like a couple of interviews, I just ended them early because I was like, honestly, I'm sorry, like, you're not fit and I'm not going to waste my time or your time, but it's been real. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, it's, right away. So I get animated when I talk about this because it drives me out of my mind is I can't stand when somebody comes in unprepared, but the biggest piece of it for me isn't even that it's not that they're unprepared. It's that you're looking for a job. You have the opportunity to find out whether or not, like what you did with Jansport was you found out when you pitched them on your ideas, whether or not there was a synergy between the way you thought and what they were going to allow you to do and how they thought. So if you in fact get the job, you then have the opportunity to create your own universe.
Yeah.
Yes, you can succeed. If you don't have the preparation in it, you have no idea whether or not you can succeed at the place that you're trying to get a job at. So how can you possibly be successful?
100%. And what was cool about Jansport too was they trusted me and gave me like a 7-figure marketing budget to do so. And they embraced, I think, the fact that I was an entrepreneur and I wanted to be an entrepreneur, which is kind of what the job was, within the
Yeah.
walls of the biggest backpack company in the world.
So Jansport was your longest stint, right? Like almost
Yeah.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
How long into the Jansport experience did you know that you were going to do something on your own, or was there an event that happened that triggered it?
By like year 3, like I was like Jansport's Employee of the Year. I won the President's Club Award. Like I did cool stuff. I started, I got into like, took us to music festivals, went on tour with Mumford & Sons. Like we did crazy cool shit. Like it was an awesome, when I like speak on college campuses or do talks, I always talk about like Jansport and like some of the crazy stories, like going on tour with like Jizza from Wu-Tang and losing Jizza and like all this stuff. And people were like, how the hell did you find that job? Like I created it for myself in a sense.
Yeah.
But I sat on the procurement team for
you saw a coolness gap in Jansport, and you created the coolness for Jansport. That's basically what you did.
Correct. And I sat on the procurement team for all of VF for promotional products purchases. I was in charge of buying swag for Jansport. I bought a couple $1 million worth of swag a year from one distributor here in the Bay Area.
Is this the first exposure you ever had to the merch and swag business?
Yeah. MLS, I was in charge of swag, but it was all bought before I got there. And I saw like it kind of sucked. And then at Jansport, since I bought so much swag, I learned about the promo industry. And it was hard. Our logo at Jansport was a 4-color process. It was a picture of the patch. We could only print digital. And back in 06, 07, 08, 09, there was literally hardly anything I could order. And we had brand exceptions. We would only print digitally. And I looked at this industry, I'm like, this industry fucking sucks. It still sucks, by the way, Jay. Here we are 20 years later.
You don't have to tell me.
And I was like, no one's doing digital. So anyways, I sat on the procurement team for all of VF for all the promotional product purchases for Vans and North Face. Big. VF would spend, probably $50+ million a year on swag. And I saw there was major gaps in this industry. I was like, there's nothing that's digital. There's nothing cool. This industry sucks. So then I had the idea, because I traveled a lot for Jansport, to make speakers that folded and unfolded like origami with Mike. We both left our jobs at Jansport because Mike worked at Jansport too, and we started Origaudio. And
so where do you get the money to start the business?
We put in $30,000 that Mike and I had saved from
each,
just like
15 each.
I don't remember. I think I put in a little more. I'm not really sure. But it kind of an even mix, and then we needed to buy enough speakers. We needed an additional $10K, so we asked my mom, and my mom kicked us the $10K. So $40,000 in startup cash.
So $40,000 in startup cash, but you leave your job. So give me your life situation at this point. Are you with your wife? Are you married? Are you single but with your girlfriend, now wife? Or what's like? Give me the
different girlfriend. And living in San Francisco. This is 08, and we knew we wanted to make these speakers that folded and unfolded like origami. That's how Origaudio started. And it was the MOQ, I think, was $5K. I knew the electronics factory in Shanghai where we made them. And
you had worked with them before and knew that they could get this made?
Yeah, I did some sourcing from them before. So we came with like the die line. One of our buddies drew the die line for the folding box. And then we knew we wanted to make them out of recycled paper and recycled material. So we sent it to the factory. And Mike left first at Jansport. He left. We shipped all the speakers to his garage in Chicago, and Mike was living in Chicago. I was living in the Bay Area, and I was like, I had this like pretty sweet gig. I'll help you. I'll moonlight. You do the day to day. So Mike started he was the backbone of Origaudio. Started Origaudio, and then I was dating this lady, this woman, this chick, and living in San Francisco, and then we broke up, and then I ended up leaving Jansport in January of 2010. So we launched Origaudio in August of 2009.
All right, so let's stay there for a second. You launch Origaudio
in August 09.
In August 09. By the way, we're talking with Jason Lucash. He is the founder of Rupt. He created and exited Origaudio. These are two of the absolute most innovative companies that have ever been in the promotional space. By the way, you said the industry sucks, still does.
Yeah.
You're the first person in the industry that I've had a conversation with on this podcast.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's probably,
This is
I don't know if anyone
so.
else will say the industry sucks, but the industry sucks.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, first off, there's too many distributors in the marketplace that are just willing to sell people trash.
Yeah.
And there's too many people in the supplier side that are willing to make trash.
Yeah.
And the customers and clients are completely overwhelmed with choices and options. So it's this cyclical world of like nonsense that people don't really want, but they think they don't understand how to use promo. Promo should be a weapon.
No doubt. And it gets a bad rap. Look, the industry sucks because the way it's been done forever. And there hasn't been a lot of change for the 20-ish years that I've been in it. And that's why I'm back in it again, because it's ripe for disruption, which is why I'm doing it all over again. There's major gaps.
The disruption, i.e. Rupt. So let's go to 2009.
Yeah.
Right. You put is this your life savings?
Pretty much. And I was living in San Francisco and not cheap.
Okay. So like, when do you start, like, give me the first 6 months of the business. Like, what happens in the first 6 months of the business? Like the real pain point, right? Because you're in a hard goods business. You have to make shit. You have to order in advance, and you've got to sell. You got a lot going on. You got 6 months.
SKU.
One SKUs. Yeah, but that
one product, 6 SKUs. Yeah.
A lot of people start with one SKU. That's not, to me, that's an advantage, actually. That's smart. That's how you have to start. Because if you can't sell one thing, you can't sell 10. Yeah. So give me the first 6 months. Immediate success, able to pay your bills right away, total panic. What happens?
We launched the company. We had one product, folding speakers, powered off your iPod. There was no iPhone the iPhone had just come out, I think, and hardwire, right? No Bluetooth didn't exist, and we set up our .com site, and we put them out there and did what we kind of knew how to do, was like organic, grassroots, guerrilla. Actually, in all of our history, we never spent money ever on advertising or marketing at Origaudio. And here at Rupt, same thing, anti-paid marketing and paid spend. So we got some.
Does that include it, like Google AdWords and such too?
Never ever spent money on
Zero.
Google advertising ever.
Okay.
Yeah, guerrilla, grassroots. So anyways, we launched it, and friends and family spread the word, and we were selling like 5 or 10 pairs of speakers a day on our website. I think we sold them at like $19.99, and then we started calling stores. We got our first placement, ironically, in Local Motion, which was surf and skate shops in Hawaii, and a couple other like random stores. But Local Motion was our first like chain. They had like 10 or 12.
These aren't custom speakers.
We had like
just folding speakers.
Folding speakers. We had one. I could probably find the picture.
You're saying warehouse and ship. That's it.
Correct. Yeah. It was stock product that we had in Chicago from our original buy, and we started calling stores to pick them up. Here's I'm not gonna share my screen, but here's what they looked like. Right. So they were folding and unfolding like origami. One of our designs was like a surf one. This one here on the right, this blue and orange one. Yep.
Oh, cool. Look, now you're producing the show. I love it.
There you go. And so anyways, we called Local Motion. They picked up and they put them in their stores. And our big break happened. One of the editors from Time Magazine was on vacation in Hawaii and bought a pair of our speakers. And this was in we launched August of 2009. And then in early October of 2009, the editor's like, guys, just a cold email, right? Got these speakers. Really cool. Came into us. Came into Mike, and because Mike's email was on the website. I was still working at Jansport at the time. I made it not known that I was doing this. I didn't want to conflict with what I was doing. So I'm considering the speakers to be on our Time Magazine's 50 Best Inventions of the Year list, which comes out in 3 weeks. We'll let you know. And Mike's like, yo, I remember he called me. I was at lunch at Jansport. We would talk to each other. I'd call him at lunch, be like, yo, how's it going? What were we doing? And I'd help him from 5 to 2 in the morning every night. And He's like, this guy from Time Magazine called. I was like, Time Magazine? And I was like, that's what, like, I think I know it. It's on my, like, my grandparents had on the coffee table. It was like the magazine that you put your cup on because they didn't have coasters. I was like, I've seen it. It's like red, I think.
Yeah.
It's like,
but in 2009, Time Magazine is still relevant. It's not 2025. It's less relevant. But in 2009, it's still relevant.
It was the number one most circulated magazine in the world at that time. At that period.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah.
So like immediately I was like, what was on this list a year prior? He's like, it was like, I think it was the iPhone was the number one. I was like, dude, there's no way, man. Like this company, Apple down the street from me.
This is the stuff like Furby gets and big companies get. This isn't the stuff that guys who make one speaker get.
So then 3 weeks later, all of a sudden, 6 o'clock in the morning, I was sleeping. There was no do not disturb on phones at this time because I had a flip phone. And my phone starts buzzing hell of early in the morning. And, I like close it. And I wake up like 6:30, and like I have all these missed calls from Mike, who's in Chicago, and like my cousins and people on the East Coast, and they're like, "Your speakers are on the Today Show, and you're on this Time Magazine list." So I like call Mike. Mike's like frantic. I was like, "Dude, I just woke up. What's going on?" He's like, check the website, dude. Check the back end of the website." So we bought enough. We bought 6,000 speakers, and maybe we sold through like 1,000 at this time. In 3 months, stores and whatever. 6:30 in the morning, San Francisco, October 2009, we sold 3,000 pairs of speakers on our website. And it didn't even syndicate to the West Coast yet. It was only East Coast. The time thing went live. Today's Show happened. They took our speakers to the Today Show. The editor was demoing it. And then we sold out of all of our stock by like 8:30 in the morning, West Coast.
So then immediately you put a sign up on your website that said, "We don't have any stock. I'm sorry. No, thank you. We can't help you."
We did.
Oh, interesting. You didn't
do
that?
What's a gambler do?
No kidding. Dude, no shit you didn't do that. What idiot would do that?
We said, it was October, we're like, this is going to be holiday. Guaranteed delivery will happen before Christmas. Pre-order for Christmas delivery. So immediately, that night. So immediately I call in sick for Jansport.
Right, because it's not like, I'll do it the next day. People are thinking about it now.
So we just say, okay, guaranteed delivery.
Brilliant.
So I call in sick from Jansport. And
yeah, I'd say.
So me and Mike were like, fuck, dude, what do we do? And I was like, well, we got all this cash. We're selling for $20. We had close to $100,000 in cash that came in on authorized.net to our Chase bank that day. I'm like, we got to order more speakers, dude. So we kept it going. That week we sold like 30,000 pairs.
How many? So you're buying speakers now just on like order. How long is it taking your distributor to get these speakers pounded out to you?
Direct. It was factory direct in Shanghai. So that night I'm like, yo, we have to Skype. We have to have a Skype meeting. So I think by that night it was close to 10,000 pairs. I'm like, just start making them. And they're like, they saw what happened, and like I had a relationship with these guys. So I'm like, just start. Yeah. I don't know how many it's going to be, but at least we need 10,000 pairs.
This is a dream for the factory too.
I mean,
this is not like nobody in that chain of supply. Like you have no time to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
They know you're going to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Like even if they get stuck, if something happens for 5,000 units at the end, they did 150,000 units. You beat me on 5,000. Like they'll live.
They cost us like $2.50 a pair. So like they were good for it.
Swimming in it.
Yep. And then so by the end of that week, it was like 30,000 pairs. And then we had stores calling us nonstop. So then I went back to work in Jansport. I finished out like college football tour. I ended up quitting in like January, I think. I ran through the end of the year. But we sold $270,000 worth of them in between October and Christmas. And then CES called us, the Consumer Electronics Show.
Yeah, of course.
They're like, yo, we saw you guys. The show, this was the height of CS. The show's been sold out for a year. We want you guys at the show. We'll make a booth for you by the food court. So we like went to CS, and we had the plans to make like this other product, which was known as the Rocket. And we it was like the most successful product we made in terms of units. We sold 5 million of them roughly at Origaudio. That's what we went on Shark Tank with and stuff. But we went to CS, and I was still working in Jansport. And because we weren't taking money, we were just reinvesting it. And we made the prototype, took it to CS with our folding speakers, and then from then it was to the fucking moon. Then I went on QVC, called retailers all across the country. Then Shark Tank called, and then yeah.
When you're in the first, so your success comes not immediately, but really after like 3 or 4 months, you're on the right path and you have a product that's a hit. You're not dumb, you're in. Like, how much money are you taking out a month to live? Like, are you able to take money out to live, or are you working so Mike's taking money and like you don't need the money? So like, is that an issue, or is it just fuck it, produce? We'll figure it out.
Let's fucking produce. Let's not take money out. Let's keep rolling. Let's go let the snowball get bigger and bigger as it's rolling down the mountain.
We'll figure out how to pay our bills with what we have.
I had some savings, like in addition, like I think we started taking like, I don't know, my rent in San Francisco was like $1,500 for my room or whatever. I think we took like a couple grand a month, right?
Got it.
To cover our living expenses. And Mike's roommates in Chicago, Kenny and Luke, they both quit their jobs and became our first like employees, like because someone had to ship all this shit. It was all shipping from Mike's garage in Chicago. We had no fulfillment.
Unbelievable.
So FedEx trucks would come every day. And then we're like, okay, this is not sustainable. We need to like have a warehousing situation. So we had like a 3PL in Southern California pick up the product and fulfill for us. And then it's fucking bananas. Our second year in business, we did, I think like $2 million for like our first full year. And then we went on Shark Tank, and then we did 4, and then we rode Origaudio to like, went from $4 million to $30 million in like 5 years.
Why did you decide to go from blanks into the decoration space?
Excellent question. So what had happened?
I'm good at this, Jason.
Dude, this is probably the most fucking fun podcast I've ever had, because this is like real shit talk, and I'm telling stories I've never been told before.
Of course, it's what I want.
One of our corporate, after the time thing, the Marines, the United States Marine Corps, saw the speakers and like, hey, can you guys do custom? And we're like, yeah, the MOQ is 1,000 pieces. And they're like, okay, well, we want 50,000 pairs. We want this for campus recruiting. And we're like, okay, just send us a PO. And they're like, we're the Marines. There's RFPs. There's all this. And we're like, fuck, paperwork? So we have to do all this bullshit paperwork. And we're like, this is never going to happen. We're like a tiny company. The government's not going to spend this money. Then they ordered 50,000 pairs. And then more and more brands were like, these are cool. Can we order these for like Google ordered 1,000? I remember like some of the early on. And then we're like, this is cool. We should take this into the promotional products industry. So we did our first PPAI the week after CS in January 2010 and took them to market. And I remember our booth was like 1,000 piece MOQ, and we had one product, and we had the prototype for the second one. And people ordered. We sold to a couple distributors. Brand Fuel, Danny Rosen's team was like our first promo distributor, and we fucked up the order, by the way. And we had some traction. Then we went back in 2011 with the Rocket post Shark Tank. It was like taking candy from a fucking baby. It was so easy. We had the cooler. We had the Rocket was this device that through vibration technology, wherever object you attached it to, it turned that object into a speaker. This is what we went on Shark Tank, and we got to deal with Rob Herjavec with. But I remember just saying at PPI, like, a styrofoam cooler, empty. I'm like, yo, you want to see something cool? Take it, stick it. It was like, and we sold samples at the show. I remember we sold like $5,000 worth of samples at the show, and we're like, this thing's going to take off. And we figured out a way to produce them, decorate them. We had a 25-piece MOQ, did well in promo. Then in 2012, we're like, let's make something where we can do one-piece decoration and promo. So we made the first ever speaker that was decorated one piece in 5 days from Southern California, and then was off to the races.
You like Robert?
I never took the deal in real life. Took the deal on the show. Yeah. The rule back then was, say half the deals you see on We got offers from
Well, it's
every
less
single
than half. It's like 5% of the deals actually go through.
maybe, yeah. But I was on season 2, so
Yeah.
we were like Mark Cuban's first episode. Cuban offered to buy the whole business. We made the deal on air with Rob, and then we filmed in like October of 2010, and our episode aired in May of 11. The rule back then was you never got the deal paperwork until your episode was going to air, because they used to overfilm, right? Like some people are bad on TV.
Yeah.
So the Sharks would send you the contract like a week prior to airing. So ours was like October to May. So it was 7 months. During that time,
you didn't need it.
During that time, we signed a deal with Zazzle and Shutterfly for our like custom speaker, and then our revenue almost doubled. And then Rob's like, "Here's the deal paperwork," and we're like, "We still, the deal on Shark Tank was 15% of our business for $150K. We had like $1 million valuation, and we're like,
Yeah.
We just have this reevaluated, and the valuation is close to like 2.6. And he's like, "Nah, I'm not renegotiating." We're like, "Later, bro." And our episode aired a week later, and I'm so glad I didn't give up that equity.
It's weird though. You would think that if the deal doesn't get done based on an event like that, that they wouldn't actually give you the free pub because they had the others in the can.
So our episode aired. It was the number 1 rated episode of that season. It was Mark Cuban's first episode, which helps as well too. And they promoted during the season finale of The Bachelor, which helped me a lot. Then they did a recap on us the next season, even though we never took the deal. They never mentioned it. So we got another hit of publicity, then all the reruns, and Shark Tank was the gift they kept on giving for many, many years at Origaudio.
Man, crazy. Well, I won't get into your life today so much,
no, you
except
can.
to say, no, well, look, we're almost at the end, but I will say this. You sell Origaudio, great deal for you. Game's over. Game's over, but game can't be over. Look, you got small kids. You can't not work. Like guys with small kids, you can't retire at 37 when you have small kids.
Yeah, it was cool for 6 weeks, and then it was really fucking boring because the only other retired people I knew were my dad and this other guy I know who sold his company LinkedIn for a shitload of money, who lives by me.
So how do you go into such a similar business? Like you had a lockup period, I'm sure.
5 years.
But okay. So 5 years later, you go into the same business or similar business? Not same, but similar, decorating high quality products. Rupt is amazing. For people who don't know Rupt, like give just 2 seconds on Rupt products. We pitch them every day. I pitch every client I have on Rupt. They send your website out more than any other that I have.
Thank you so much.
I love the products.
You got one above your head on the shelf up there. I see it too.
I do. I have products above my head. I have 2 products above.
Shameless product placement, I assume, for the podcast.
It is shameless for the podcast, but I keep them there for all podcasts. By the way, I
there you
support.
Go. Okay,
right?
there you
Not
go.
only, hold on. So here's what I love. It's everything you do is retail packaged.
Yeah.
That is so different than other, promotional products is like, oh, here's a mug. Well, like it just doesn't feel as special. Like when it comes retail packaged, you can see, look, my money's where my mouth is. I brand my company with your products. And
but you're the perfect customer for us because you understand print on demand in stores. That's what we hunt.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, you said my 2-second overview on Rupt. We make cool shit.
You do?
We make cool shit. 1 piece minimum, cool shit products decorated on 3 different continents. We're the only people in promo that service the whole globe at a 1 piece minimum, which is like
insane.
Bananas. All our products are recycled. All of our products are carbon neutral. And then all of our products, also the packaging is second life, meaning the boxes turn into crazy objects once they're done being boxes. So like we have a product, the box turns into a bird feeder. We have a product, the box turns into a clock, desk lamp, spice rack. All the packaging is like kick-ass purpose as well too.
And then you went out.
Cool shit, yeah.
And then you went out on top of what you're doing with Rupt. And you went Robert Herjavec and Mark Cuban on the industry and invested.
Venture fund. Yeah.
Yeah, you invested in other cool companies. So you've got a company called Desk Plants that you work with that I love. Desk Plants. Yeah,
1 piece minimum custom plants on your desk, right out of our facility in Austin, Texas.
But the thing I like the best about Desk Plants is I love Lawrence who runs it, but besides him, the fact that you market them as unkillable plants.
You literally, this plant on my desk is 3 years old, and like I give it an ice cube once a month, and like it's green. Yeah, I thought it was fake at first. I was like, "This is a fake plant, Lawrence." He's like, "No, it's a real plant."
What a dad!
So we
What a dad you are.
We started the first ever
Mhm.
venture fund within Promo, where we've invested in other cool businesses like Danique and Desk Plants and Swanky and Ripple and other people that like are fighting the dark side of the industry with us. We're the rebel force. So
we do 2 quick seconds. Swanky makes incredible giftable leather goods,
barware,
glass, barware. They do tons of packaging, great laser engraving.
Yeah.
Like they're really like bespoke gifting.
One piece minimum.
And their CEO, Mark, amazing. Danique makes the coolest, most customizable journals in the business. I mean,
Correct.
you want to do color tip-ins. For people who don't know, tip-ins are like color pages, like almost they could be advertisements, they could be pictures, they could be anything. Inside the book itself, low minimums. What's Danique? 50 pieces, I think.
They're coming out with 1 piece minimum here by the time this podcast probably airs.
Get out of here. Danique is going to have 1 piece minimums.
Yes.
I mean, we use your products we have over 400 web stores live right now. We use your products on all of our web stores. I mean, we order them every day. They're great. So
my shameless plug for people that are listening to this podcast who are inked customers, the best part about Rupt for web stores and Danique and some of these others, you can literally have all of our products in your inked web store, and I only encourage you to have an inked web store, on demand with no inventory risk. So you put it all out there. If it sells, cool. If it doesn't sell, it's literally a picture on our website. When the order comes in, Jay's team simultaneously submits that order to us. We print and ship it on demand in 48 hours and it delivers to you. So anyone running web stores, you need to have all Rupt product in there. Literally no risk to do so.
First time I heard of Origaudio, I knew it was great. And we were in the print-on-demand retail space. COVID hit. We pivoted the business to online stores. That's just what happened. And, Rupt has just changed the game for us in the last, what are you about? Don't want to say you're 15 months, 16 months old.
Exactly. On the
dot. It's changed the game for us. It's allowed us to offer our clients better products in single piece minimums. And in our model, I've been printing 1 piece with direct to garment for 10 years now. So in our model, that's exactly what works. So I feel like in a lot of ways we have a shared vision.
What's cool too? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I've never been in Time magazine.
Doesn't matter. I'm like you, wearing a free T-shirt with my company logo on it right now. I think the big thing too, where I'm seeing the most growth of our business right now, is international. And I don't know if you guys have turned on international with us, but literally, like, we're the only people delivering to 65 countries around the world at 1 piece for like $20 a shipment. Duty, tax, everything included in the price. Like, the goods just show up at your door. And that's the highest growth sector of our business right now. So
interesting.
I encourage you, for any of your customers that have global needs, Rupt is the only solution.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm going to actually message around that. And I haven't, we've tapped into it on a 1-to-1 basis where we know our clients have those needs, but how many clients are out there who we don't know have those needs? And to your point, a
lot. So it's
Jason,
been interesting.
I love it. I enjoyed this conversation. I've always known that you and Mike were synergistic with me from both attitude, business perspective, but just an attitude perspective. You're just a regular guy. Like, the money you have in the bank hasn't changed you. I'm sure your kids are going to grow up with as normal a childhood as you did.
For sure. They're out hustling like me. Like, my kids had a lemonade stand and made $56 last week, like crushing it. And they're 5 and 7. You know what I like about you too, Jay, is you keep it super casual on LinkedIn, like myself. You're posting like really engaging, cool content too.
Thanks.
That's real. And just like me, I try to keep it real.
Yeah, well, listen, Jason, I read enough of people who are telling me how they made $4 million by doing this one thing. And I'm like, dude,
like Tony Robbins.
I made a lot of money too, but it's by waking up at 6 a.m. and picking up the telephone and calling individual people and getting it slammed in my face all the time.
The best way. You grind. You're an entrepreneur.
I'm a grinder. I love it. Hey, when COVID hit, and I have an article coming out on this, a blog post, because we're doing a big promotion. This will air after the promotion's over.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it is. We printed our millionth T-shirt.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot
So
of
we're
t-shirts.
basically giving t-shirts away to anybody who wants t-shirt. Like literally that's the price. I mean, we're doing $3 t-shirts.
Wow.
So insane.
That's below cost of goods.
Listen,
I think.
It's scraping it, but it's like, I want to do it because that's who I am. And I'm so grateful to like be in this business. I love this industry. I love the business.
Yeah.
So we were able to figure it out with, with our suppliers too, to not lose. But, yeah, I just like,
It's a lot of
when
shirts.
COVID hit, we had to refigure this out. My kids were still young. They saw me every day from 6 a.m. until midnight, pounding businesses to support them, support us. Like, you may have had a special event, but like you were in a position to capitalize on that special event. Like
Yeah.
you made it happen. And I love that. You weren't like born and became president of a company. Like
I hate that. I hate that so much.
You grinded it, and it just, I freaking love it, man. So I really enjoyed this conversation, Jason. And yeah, thanks for joining me on JaySapChats.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to JaySapChats. I hope you leave a little bit better than you came. And here's wishing you a beautiful week.